If you want to become a successful trader, you need to keep in mind that there is no strict right or wrong way when it comes to chart analysis. Two traders might look at the same chart and come up with a different trading style. We all have our trading styles, we all have our own experiences and biases that shape what we think makes a good trade. So if you feel like telling someone or someone tells you you're making a bad trade, bad decision, or if you are considering changing your own approach based on what others say, remember this: your opinion is just as valid as any other trades. Stick to your own plan and let your strategy do its job. Hey there, Tamir from FIBONACCI'S.com here with the weekly market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and without any further ado, let's see the charts. We'll go over the weekly charts on the right, daily charts on the left. Always zoom out, zoom in to get a better point of view of price action. SPY on the weekly, we can see last week we had a doji inside candle. This week we got a trend reversal to the upside. Next is the 455, 460 resistance. Above it we are heading towards all-time highs. On the daily 3 days we had consolidation between the 449 and the 453. Bears sentiment continuation, and we will close this gap at the 455. Monday, reminder Monday, stock market is closed. Let me know in the comments below, where do you think SPY is going towards the end of 2023? Are we going to see new all-time highs? Are we going towards the 500s? Let me know in the comments below. Very interesting to know. What do you think? What is your overall sentiment? QQQ and the weekly, we can clearly see two very important trend lines. We can see the upper trend line, which helps us to identify that for now we have, on the long term, we have lower highs. On the midterm, since January, beginning of this year, we have a very steep uptrend, which will continue if we will have a break and a close above the 388, and then we are heading towards new all-time highs and maybe over 445. And the daily gaps are meant to be closed, and here we are. We have filled the 380 gap, 381 gap. Now some kind of a retracement. 373 needs to hold, and then next leg up. Overall, bullish sentiment on the SPY and the Qs. Dow Jones, after everything, finished green to the upside. Trend lines are the true support, resistance, and our roadmap for future price action. Look at this white trend line holding the higher lows since September 2022. 2 years of an uptrend on the Dow. We have this red trend line together with this area of the 356, 357. This area will become a very tough resistance for the Dow. Breaking above, no need to guess, we can take Fibonacci above this area, the 357. We are heading towards all-time highs, and then 377. If the Dow will break below this white trend line, no need to guess where are the next support. You have all the levels to the downside. Follow price, use trend lines and Fibonacci levels to manage your risk. Below this white trend line, in my opinion, 339 gap will get filled. IWM on the weekly price range is getting tighter and tighter. We have lower highs, higher lows since October of 2022. We had 3 weeks to the downside, doji, and now trend reversal, bullish trend reversal. Let's see continuation towards this upper trend line, and will IWM bulls can finally break up and above. We can take Fibonacci 192 resistance. Above it we have this red trend line, a weekly close above the red trend line, above the 200, and then we are heading towards 206 and 216. Bitcoin on the weekly continuation doing nothing. 24,600 support, 27,500 resistance, breaking below the 24,600 on the weekly time frame, and we are heading towards 22,700 and then 21 together with this white trend line. If you're a pattern trader, you can see on the weekly some kind of a head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, and maybe right shoulder. But for now, we have trend lines. We don't need to rely on any unreliable patterns. We have trend lines, and this trend line, these two trend lines, helps us to identify, these three trend lines helps us to identify that for now we are in a downtrend towards this white trend line until proven otherwise. Ethereum on the weekly white trend line holding, barely, but holding 2 consecutive dojis of this trend line. We have the red trend line that's holding as resistance since November of 2021, each and every time. Over here, also during 2023, since beginning of June, every time Ethereum reached this price, got rejected. Now 2 consecutive dojis, we might get some kind of a bounce, but this red trend line will give a very tough life for Ethereum bulls. Breaking above, we have 1944 and then 2141. Breaking below this white trend line, we are heading first towards the 1520, then 1360, and then 1200s. Crude oil. If you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos in the past few weeks or so, you know this red box, this red resistance area, and we have been waiting for so long for this resistance area to get broken to the upside, and here we are. Patience is a key element in trading. Closing above it, next will be the 88, then 88, 89, then some kind of a retracement, checking and retesting the 83 area from resistance. It will get retested as support before the next leg up towards 94. And of course, everything you see and hear on my channel is for educational purposes only. Always do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on social media. Doesn't matter how many followers, how many subscribers they have. Don't follow them to tell you what to buy, where to buy, what to sell, where to trade. Do your own due diligence. It's your money. No one else cares about your money except you. Natural gas on the weekly. Same as crude oil. Very tough resistance area, this red area. Very tough resistance since beginning of this year. Breaking up and above, we have this area, the 320, which is the crossroads between 2 trend lines. 317 will be a very tough resistance. Above it, we can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high. We can take also over here. Above 320, we are heading towards 372 and then towards the 434. But if you want to go long natural gas, I would wait for another day closing above the 287 on the daily, and then we are heading towards the purple trend line. SOXX, continuation to the upside on the daily, broke and closed above the 618 retracement area, which is also the 511 area. On the weekly, still uptrend. 2 consecutive dojis in the past 2 weeks. Previous week, trend reversal to the upside above 406. Now let's see continuation towards the 437. Above it, we are heading towards 580 together with this upper red trend line. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear on this video or on any other video on my channel, please take 1 second to hit the like, subscribe, share with friends. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. because we are going live 2 times a day, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time pre-market preparations and 12 p.m. each and every day, trading days of course, Monday till Friday, midday market review, Q&A, ask anything you want and I will try to answer. AAPL, trend reversal, 188.79, above it we are heading towards this purple trend line. Look left, this purple trend line goes all the way back to August of 2020. Since August 2020 until November 21, it was resistance. Then broke to the downside April 22, and since April 22, it's resistance once again. So next major resistance area will be the 200 together with this purple trend line. Above it, we are heading towards the 210 and 226. On the daily, we still have a gap at the 190.80. 187 now needs to hold the support. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Where Apple will end up this year? Above 200 or below 200? NVDA on the daily, the 502, very tough resistance. On the weekly, another inside week with 480 tough resistance, 441 support. Below 441 we are heading back towards the 407. I'm looking for another weekly close above the 480, 481, and then with high probability NVIDIA is heading towards the 590 or 600. It's never an accurate price, it's always an area. Shopify with a very bullish week from 55 towards 68, 68 now. Major resistance, only by looking left we can understand why, because since beginning of June it was resistance. Now once again resistance, weekly close above this area, and Shopify is heading towards the 82 area. On the daily, major gap to the downside. This gap will get filled sometimes in the future, no one knows when, but more than 85% all gaps will get filled throughout time. And if we look left, we have another gap over here. Now if we get a mirror price action, we will see the same price action as we saw over here. We will get the same price action, and not surprising, look at this: support, 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 resistance, resistance. So we might get the same price action as we got here, also over here, but to the downside, closing this gap 55, and then next leg up towards 77 and 85. Always prepare for both sides, because no one knows what will happen next. All we have to do is look left where price came from, identify support resistance areas with Fibonacci, or train our eyes. We have trend lines, and once we understand the relationship between trend lines, candlestick analysis and Fibonacci, we will be able to identify with high probability, in my opinion with the highest probability, where price might be heading next. Nothing is 100% guarantee, but it's a high probability. You are more than welcome to join our Discord or follow me on Twitter, and then you will see the high probabilities, actionable ideas. Tesla 260 resistance, this purple trend line support, Doji on the weekly indecision. We have what might looks like left shoulder head breaking below, and we are heading towards the 180 and maybe back to the 153. But for now, very tight price action on Tesla. If you want to go long, I would wait for a weekly close or 2-3 days above the 260. Meta, 3 consecutive weeks over here to the downside. Last week we had a doji inside candle of a Fibonacci 260 265 area, which is also the Fibonacci retracement support, bounced, got rejected by the 300 area. You can see it clearly on the daily. 1, 2, 3, 4 days getting rejected by the 300 psychological area, and also the 50% retracement, downtrend, bounce, 50%. 2-3 days above it, and we are heading towards the 305. Above it, we are heading towards the 326. Microsoft, another week, another doji. This week we had a doji inside candle. Indecision on Microsoft. This 330 is not giving up as resistance because it was a very important level of support since May of 2023, end of May, until it broke to the downside end of July. All August got rejected one time after another. But on the positive side, we are still in an uptrend. We have the red trend line that helps us to identify the higher lows since January of 2023. So if you want to go long on Microsoft, and again, it's only my opinion, I would wait 2-3 days closing above the 330, and then we can take long towards the 345 using levels and trend lines as our risk management. Amazon, another week, sideways move with 130 to the downside as support, 142 to the upside as resistance. Above 142, we are heading towards the 160. 1 second. This level of support, the 131 needs to hold, otherwise 126, below 126, 120. Google finally closing above the 133 after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks getting rejected. This week broke up above, closed above this trend line, holding as support. We might get some kind of retracement, and once again retesting this area, the 134, together with this white trend line before the next leg up towards 143 and 157, new all-time highs. What do you think where Google is heading towards the end of 2023, towards the last quarter of 2023? Are we going to see a new all-time highs on Google? Any comment, feedback, suggestion? Let me know in the comments below. Will be much appreciated. Netflix, once again, 443, very tough resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks. 442, 443 is holding as resistance. It will come a day that bulls of Netflix will give up, and if they will give up, this trend line, this yellow trend line, needs to hold once again as support. If this trend line will fail to hold, we are going to the steep downtrend towards 373. We still have here an open gap at the 383, then 373 is in the cards. AMD trend lines shows us the way. We are in a retracement, downtrend, pullback, call it whatever you want, uptrend, retracement. The 50% retracement is still holding, but if you want to go long on AMD, as we all do, we are waiting for a weekly close above this downtrend blue channel. Always follow price, use levels and trend lines as your guide for future price action, and use these levels and trend lines for your risk management. This is how AMD looks on the daily chart, bouncing off this white trend line. I'm waiting for a weekly close above 111, or a weekly close 2-3 days above this red trend line. We can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, 111, Fibonacci retracement. And if we will get few more days like this, and then we will get a break 2-3 days above it, retesting, and then next leg up. This is the area where we Fibonacci traders will take long an AMD. So hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, hit the notification bell because more videos coming up this weekend. Until the next video, enjoy the long weekend.